Iwashita-san's story finished. And still, the seventh person hadn't come. It was getting pretty late. No point waiting any longer than this. I turned to the 6 who had gathered and deeply bowed my head. Thank you everyone for coming today. The seventh person didn't show up in the end, but I heard plenty of scary stories. Having said that, I snuck a quick peek at Kazuma-san. Kazuma-san, who had almost ruined the party with his ridiculous story. Kazuma-san, who still smiled like he'd told the scariest story of all. He really was amazing. Looks like I'll be able to make an interesting school newspaper with this. And with that, I'd like to end. At that moment, the door opened and Hino-senpai appeared. Hino-senpai. He lifted his hand in greeting and slumped into a free chair. He looked exhausted. Ah, thank God. You're all still here. Sorry, Kurata. I nodded my head towards him. I didn't for a minute think he would come. Yeah, I couldn't find a seventh person. I debated what to do. I couldn't just leave it as it is. Leaving our cute junior club member here all alone. And so, I decided to come here myself. I quickly finished all my other business first. Shindo, Kazuma, Iwashita, and everyone else, thank you, he said and looked at each person's face in turn. I see. So Hino-san was the only person here who knew everyone. They all looked at him and replied in turn. All right, here you go, a present. He casually tossed the vinyl bag he'd been holding onto the table. Ah, how thoughtful you are, Hino. Kazuma-san started pulling the stuff out of the bag. It was full of drinks. They weren't cans, but rare mini-sized pet bottles. I wondered who made them. Well, pick your favorite drink, guys. Kurata, no need to hold back. Take whichever one you like. Thank you. There were several types of drinks on the table. Which should I take? Orange juice. I grabbed the one I wanted. Everyone else did the same. I picked orange juice. 100% fruit juice. I took off the lid and put it to my lips. Ah, delicious. The cold orange juice felt nice as it passed down my throat, perhaps because I had been so nervous. When everyone was done drinking, Hino-san leaned forward. He looked like he was going to tell the final story for us. Everyone braced themselves. Come to think of it, did Hino-san even like scary stories? I hadn't really heard anything about it, and you couldn't always tell by one's appearance. My thoughts accidentally showed on my face. He glanced at me and grinned, like he was trying to tell me to relax. I grew embarrassed, like he'd read my mind, and looked away. Everyone's finished their stories, yeah? Did you tell your best ones? I was the one who invited you all here. If you didn't tell her your scariest stories, then Kurata will laugh at me and we won't be able to put together a good article. Well, knowing you all, I think you did your best. And so, let me tell you a terrifying story to match. Listen up and get ready. You all know Mr. Shirai, the science teacher, right? He has pure white hair, even though he's young, and they call him the white-haired demon. That Mr. Shirai. You first graders haven't had a class with him yet, so you might not know him, but you've no doubt at least seen him before. Once you've seen him, you'll never forget him. He's super skinny, with a gaunt face and sharp, upturned eyes. A white-haired, middle-aged guy. He wears a white coat, always covered in wrinkles. He's been teaching at this school for the last 10 years now. I think you all already know, but there are various rumors regarding him. Well, that's understandable. But it's not just his looks that are strange. His actions are as well. Because in the science preparation room, there's a storeroom that he won't even let the chemistry or biology club members into. It's locked with a sturdy padlock, and the only one who can get in is Shirai. Apparently, not even the other teachers are allowed to go in. Someone once tried, and he got seriously pissed at them. You can't even complain. When he's not teaching, he apparently spends all his time in there doing some unknown experiments. And that's why there are strange rumors about him. But he's also apparently quite famous in the scientific community. He's given several innovative reports, and people say it won't be long until he gets a Nobel Prize as well. And that's why, even if he seems a little strange, the school gives him silent approval. The bigger puzzle is why such an important teacher would want to work here at this school to begin with. Kurata, are you intrigued about what Shirai's doing in that storeroom? I am. Right. Well then, I'm going to tell you a story about the guy who accidentally saw what's in there. The 6 of you here have a real love for scary stories. Therefore, you know a lot about this school's scary stories. You probably know all about the rumors regarding Shirai as well. And of course the storeroom. But there's only one person who really knows what's inside, because nobody else has seen it. But I happen to learn what it is. I swear to God it's the truth. I'm not lying. Because I'm the one who went inside. Well, are you surprised? Of course, not even I could get in there alone. I was able to do it because of my buddy, Iwayama Yasuo. Shindo, you know him, right? That guy. The one who's good with his hands. They say he's a quick worker. If he became a thief, he'd get far, but that's a crime. Shirai's key management is infamous. There are 3 locks for the storeroom alone, with one for the key cupboard by the door and another inside the storeroom. To tell you the truth, we started working on this plan around 6 months ago. If we could uncover Shirai's secret, it would undeniably be a scoop. Not as one of our 7 school mysteries, but as a top exclusive scoop. While that was underway, the plans for a 7 school mysteries article to coincide with the removal of the old school building popped up, so it seemed it would meet an unfortunate end. Well, this time I'll let you take the credit for it. Then, after 6 months, Iwayama and I were finally able to create a key that could open the storeroom. Don't say that's a crime. We returned the master key to its original place, and we didn't intend to steal anything from the storeroom either. If there's a secret, then you want to unravel it. That's the spirit of a reporter, right? Then we finally moved forward with carrying out our plan. We knew that Shirai had 1 day off a week. We decided to use that as our chance to break in. At first we were worried about whether the key would work. It was a rather peculiar key after all. It's not a key you can make in a normal way. Still, it went well. We were able to unlock all 3 locks. The door to the storeroom was thick, sturdy steel. Even when we tried to open it slowly, carefully, without a sound, it still creaked like rusty steel. It sounded even louder than it should have, you know? It's a little embarrassing to say, but I thought my heart was going to burst. I honestly felt like a thief. Inside was pitch black. There wasn't a single window, and the area stank of something foul. Yeah, how can I put it? Hey, Kurata, what smell do you think it was? A strong formalin smell. Yep, exactly what you said. Inside stank of formalin. You know what that is, right? That liquid they put animal specimens in. It stank as though the room was full of those bottles. For a moment it was like undergoing anesthesia. My senses dulled. I swayed, my vision blurring, and I started to pass out. Thinking it would be dangerous to stay inside for too long, I looked for the switch. Then I heard what sounded like a baby crying coming from somewhere. Seemed like it was coming from the back of the storeroom. In addition to the baby, I could hear what sounded like water swishing. I was shocked. I wondered what the hell it was. The storeroom seemed rather large, but it was pitch black, and I couldn't see a thing. There seemed to be items all over the place, but I had no idea what they were. If I didn't walk through carefully, it could be dangerous. If we could just turn the lights on, then we'd know. We desperately searched for the lights. Then, I heard something fall behind me. When I looked, Iwayama was on the ground, breathing roughly. Hey, Iwayama! Hino, I don't feel so good. This room stinks. I can't. That guy, the formalin smell was so bad that it intoxicated him. Hey, Kurata, what do you think I did after that? Left the room, helping Iwayama out. That's right. He really looked to be in pain. I couldn't just leave him there. I grabbed him and helped him out. When we got outside, I realized just how great the air smelt. That's how bad it was in there. Iwayama choked on it. He really wasn't feeling well. I didn't want to imagine what would have happened if I'd just left him there. And that was the end of that day. Because we couldn't really look around the storeroom like that. And so we never clearly saw what was inside. But there was no doubt that Shirai was doing some type of experiment inside. And he was raising something. The sound of that baby's cries and the water. It was impossible to tell just from that, but there was definitely something there. This happened exactly a week ago. What? You're all looking at me like I betrayed you. Calm down. I'm not finished yet. I thought I'd leave the real fun for the end. Do you understand what I mean when I say it happened a week ago today? That's right. Today is Shirai's day off as well. So, to complete this story, Iwayama and I were thinking about sneaking in again. But I haven't been able to find him, even though we promised to go together. His face said that he really didn't want to go though. Looks like he ran away. But thanks to that, I have even more to look forward to now. You get what I'm saying, right? I'm going to solve this school's biggest mystery, the science storeroom. What's in there? What's the truth behind the baby and the water? How about it? Why don't we all go over there right now and find out? That's the story I've prepared for you today. Kurata, I'll leave it up to you. You can decide whether you want to go or not. But don't forget, another chance like this won't come around again. Let's go. All right, let's do it. It's decided. Everyone, let's go to the science storeroom. Don't worry, I have the key. There's nobody left. So the school is this quiet, huh? If the teachers find us here so late, they're gonna blow their stack. Everyone, be careful of your footsteps. There's still a bit of distance between us and the storeroom. Shall I tell you a little about Shirai? Do you want to hear? Yes. Apparently, Shirai specializes in bacteriology. There are more bacteria in this world than we can count. And there are still lots that we haven't discovered yet. Plus, there are still lots of new ones being born. Even if we discover the new ones, we can't keep up with them. I don't know exactly what it is that he's studying. That was beyond my reach. But it's apparently something to do with the effect bacteria have on life forms. So, I think he's doing that research in the storeroom. And that baby's cry was a new life form. No doubt about it. It's a monster Shirai created. That's why, if I can just take a photo of it, we'll become famous overnight. What do you think, Kurata? Doesn't the thought of it make you excited? Well, we're here. The science storeroom. Nobody's here right now. There's no reason they would be. Look, that's the door. There's a new life form behind that door. Hold on a sec. I'll unlock it now. Alright, it's open. Okay, we're going in. It stinks, so be careful. Seriously, where the hell are the lights? Switches are usually right next to the door. Hey, Kurata, help me look. Look for the lights. Still, it really does stink, huh? We should have brought a torch. It's not normal that Shirai would lock himself up in here. Kurata, did you find the switch? Hurry up. Shit. Someone's coming. Hide. Quickly, close the door. Shh. Nobody move. But closing the door makes it stink even worse. Even covering our mouths won't do much good. Are you all okay? Hey. Shindo? Shindo! Iwashita! Kazuma? Hey, guys! Kurata? Hino-senpai. It's no good. I'm fading too. It smells So bad. Is this really the smell of formalin? Everything was covered in dust. My eyes slowly adjusted, but my vision also swayed. But there was no power source in this room, right? What should I do? I can't hold out any longer. The door opened. Who was standing there? A man with pure white hair. The white-haired demon. No way. I can't. I was alive, but I couldn't move my hands or feet. Were they tied up? Only a dim light was on, so I couldn't see around me very well. Was this the storeroom? I heard it. The baby's cries. That voice Hino-san spoke of. Where was it coming from? It seemed to be coming from all around me. My mind was still fuzzy. Something felt nice. Felt warm. I got it. I was in water. I was in warm water up to my chest. Was this water? It was so dim and my vision blurred that I couldn't see well. Every now and then a jolt of pain ran through me, but it actually felt nice. I didn't seem to be clear-headed. I felt languid. It didn't matter what happened. Living was such a hassle. I didn't care about anything. What happened to me? Sir, she appears to be growing well. It was Hino-san's voice. I saw him out the corner of my listless vision. He was looking at me, arms crossed and a satisfied smile on his face. A man in a white coat stood next to him. His hair was pure white. Was that Mr. Shirai? He was also smiling, looking satisfied. Hino-kun, soon these 7 will also join you. When that happens, look after them, okay? Even if you don't like them, once they are reborn, you all share the same fate. Of course, sir. I had no idea what they were saying. Hino-san approached me. As he did, my eyesight slowly improved. I appeared to be in a rather large tank, a transparent water tank. Hino-san crossed his arms at the edge of the tank and rested his chin on it. Then he looked at me. Hey, Kurata? When I snuck in here a week ago, Mr. Shirai caught me. Then, I was reborn. Although Iwayama, who came in with me, died. Then he turned to look at the corner of the room. There was a pile of light peach-colored flesh. It pulsed. It was alive. Listening closer, it was crying, with that baby's voice. Even like that, he's alive. And now, he's just like me. The only difference between us is who can take human shape or not. Then he looked at me again and laughed. Whether you end up looking like that is up to you. If you fuse well, you'll join us. Ihihi. Then he turned to look in the direction opposite the living lump of flesh. There was a pile of human arms and legs. So that was it. My limbs weren't bound. The reason I couldn't move them was because I didn't have them anymore. They were my limbs. The casual pile of limbs looked just like a pile of discarded mannequins. My limbs were in there, along with Iwashita-san's, Shindo-san's, and the others. Strangely, I didn't feel sad. I think that was helped by the pleasant liquid I was in. I could feel something entering my body through my wounds. It spread throughout me, like it was soaking into me. Then it felt like new limbs began to grow. A woman to my left screamed. I couldn't be bothered to look. Still, instinctively, I turned my head a little. Iwashita-san was to my left. She was floating limbless in the water, like me. Yet, despite floating in the warm liquid, her skin flaked off like it was dry. Her flesh melted off, her bones dissolved, and she turned into a pile of flesh. Even seeing that, I didn't feel scared. Adaptability could also be taken as fate. As she completely turned into a pile of flesh, the glossy, meat-colored body cried like a baby. She was reborn. Hey, Iwashita. Looks like you couldn't fuse well. But don't worry, I'll look after you now. Hino-san covered his mouth as though trying to hold back his laughter. Then he looked at me again, putting his hands in the liquid and swishing it around. Hey, Kurata, doesn't this liquid look like water? But it's not. Every bacteria in here was put in intentionally. It is, so to speak, a culture fluid. The main bacteria are something Mr. Shirai produced, with higher knowledge and functions than humans. Right now, the population of humans is exploding. If it keeps going, people are going to struggle to find food. But don't worry. If your body fuses with these bacteria, you don't need to eat anything to live. If the temperature changes, if the environment changes, you'll be able to adapt, no problem. Amazing, right? But there are unfortunate points too. That is, you'll stop being yourself. As the bacteria adjust to your body, they'll take over both your will and flesh. Your memories and feelings will all disappear. That's the only bad point. That'll happen to me soon too. In roughly 10 days, you'll become a completely new life form. You'll stop being you. That's extremely disappointing and detestable. Hey, Kurata, do you know by what standard I gathered these members? They're all people I don't like. People whose faces I didn't like. People whose personalities I didn't like. People that made me angry just looking at them. I don't know why exactly, but just people I don't like. Those are the people I gathered. Kurata, I really hated you. That's why I wanted you to taste the same fate as me. You drank orange juice back at the club. You remember, right? I'd already put some medicine in there to dull your senses. It sucks, huh? Ah, Kurata, your face is peeling. You're just like Iwashita. You're gonna turn into a pile of flesh. You had it coming. What's wrong, Kurata? You've started melting. Hey, can you hear my voice? If you can, answer me. You can't answer, can you? Your voice has become just like that of a baby. I'll look after you. My fusion was successful, and you failed. As a result, you're going to turn into a monstrous lump of flesh. That's why I'll gladly watch over you. Are you no longer conscious, Kurata? You're wrong, Hino-san. I've been reborn and no longer need to worry about anything. An amazingly pleasant feeling that only those who have changed could understand. I'm sorry, Hino-san, but you'll never get to feel what that's like. I have no reason to think or move. I will simply live forever. You're the unfortunate one, Hino-san. My new life is about to begin right now.